Hey folks, and welcome to another installment of Dave's Impressions. This time around, Fire Pro Wrestling World. These impressions were taken from playing the game for around 3 hours. Enjoy! Before talking about the latest entry in the long-running Fire Pro Wrestling series, I need to lay out a little history. I am a lifelong pro wrestling fan. Something about the larger-than-life figures fighting each other captured my imagination as a child, and that style of physical storytelling has kept my interest all these years later. Oh, sometimes I'll take a break for a few years or get tired of one promotion and watch another for a while, but I think I'll always have the pro wrestling bug in some form or another. The Fire Pro series has been around for a while. I first discovered it on Game Boy Advance, but it was the 2005 PlayStation 2 release of Fire Pro Wrestling Returns in the US that consumed me. A disclaimer. While I played a lot of the GBA version, I never actually played the PS2 version. I became obsessed with creating characters in the editor and having the game itself control them, simming wrestling matches. I created a whole federation of wrestlers and booked shows writing about the results like I was covering a real event. The 3 hours that I have spent with Fire Pro Wrestling World has all been simming. Now I'm not saying that these games aren't worth playing. The timing-based grapple system is unlike any other wrestling game out there. I recommend those who enjoy wrestling games to give it a try. I just prefer simming. Steam Workshop really is the reason to play this version over any other Fire Pro release. Previous entries had hundreds of wrestlers, often famous ones, with name changes to avoid copyright infringement. This game has a small collection of original wrestlers, very small. All the modes are still here, but whether it was because of time restraints, budget, or not wanting to get sued, you're going to want to visit Steam Workshop. Thanks to a robust community, any wrestler I could think of is available to download, often with costume changes and fully tweaked CPU logic. There's even referees and original creations. How could I not have my matches officiated by Red Shoes? Now if you want to make your own creations, you'll be spending a lot of time in the editor, and I recommend for the sake of your sanity to turn the music off and listen to Spotify or a podcast. The editor seems confounding at first, and that's because it is. It's one of those systems where you just start playing around, and after a lot of trial and error, you'll start to understand how it all works. Of course, I say this with the experience of using the editors of 2 previous games. A lot came back to me, including what some of the special abilities do and what the different wrestling styles mean. Some limitations I would place on myself as well, like if I want to raise an ability point in one stat, I have to lower it in another. I want my creations to have well-defined strengths and weaknesses. There is a manual out there on the net that offers a measure of explanation, but trial and error will be your best teacher, especially testing your wrestler. During a test match, I couldn't stop staring at a small section of beard I had forgotten to fill in. And unless you're meticulous with your AI tweaking, simming matches is not going to go as smoothly as it could. It's an issue with Steam Workshop too, as you don't know how dedicated the person who created the wrestler is with tweaking values, and you can't edit their creation yourself. Even with great CPU logic, matches are far from perfect, but there are plenty of magic moments to make it worthwhile. I find myself getting sucked into the drama of the matches, rooting for one character over another, and often the CPU will really surprise me with a move combination or a reversal. All of this is enhanced by the ability to sim any dream match I can think of. Hulk Hogan vs Brock Lesnar in a steel cage? Done. Cactus Jack vs Pentagon Jr. in a barbed wire deathmatch? No problem. How about the New Day vs the Elite? Well, the AI has a problem with multiple wrestlers interacting with each other, but the match had some great moments. Each match I simmed sent my mind racing with new possibilities. I think what the developers were trying to do was bring Fire Pro Wrestling back, but use the modding power of the PC community to make up for a lack of resources. The game doesn't look too much better than its PS2 counterpart, but the ability to download any wrestler on a whim, not to mention all the other mods I haven't even looked into yet, might just make this the definitive Fire Pro experience. I might not have the time to create a whole wrestling fed again, but I can still feel the pull to do so, and I can always sim dream matches as a backup. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I hope you're having a wonderful day.